are your thoughts on now that we're talking about Michael Ende, and you've found an idea that you've taken from his book, but you're making something completely new. A lot of theatre for children, especially the main stages, the big producing houses and so on, they tend to want to focus on adapting children's books. Something has to be a success in a kind of novel format before they want to put it on. What are your thoughts on that, and put up against new material for children?
Well, I guess there's a sense of a classic text for children. Like there's some stories that the parents or us that we kind of loved when we were children. We would like to pass them on, and I think that's a very good thing, that we pass on stories that we like, because it binds us together. It's a cult thing. So to do stories that have been produced many times, I think, is something that we will always do in theatre. But then again, on the side of that, you can open up those themes or those plays, and you can kind of create new things from it as well. The project that I'm working on is not an adaptation. It's just sort of that we've been inspired by one idea in the book, so the title, and apart from that, we're not referring to the book in any sense. So I guess we should have a place for both telling the stories that we love, and that we can talk about from our own experience. For me, we have small children, and on the other hand, we have to explore more of the stories that are in these children's heads, and we have to be brave and try to create some new good stories that maybe will be passed on in further in new generations. So I'm sort of, we have to do both things, and as a director, I find it's sort of my job. I put it on myself to try to do new work also for children, like at Vega Scene, where we are planning to do lots of different new plays for children, and we are going to specialize, and we are going to present new plays for children.
All research-based?
At least research-based in some sense. And then we're going to do a lot of like talking about theatre with children, talking about film with children, more of that sort of context work as well, because that is something which is very interesting to do when you do research-based. You can kind of much more talk about, okay, what have you experienced? Maybe we can create something with them, and the boundaries between what we can do in a workshop and what could actually be a play is more loose when we are doing a research-based theatre.
In this project that you're working on at the moment, No Man's House, what kind of research are you doing? I mean, you've said that you talk to kids and they spiral off and create wonderful imaginative things, but presumably if it is about time, what with other research?
You have to. We also tap into sort of the development of children, and try to investigate how we develop the idea of time, and time is such a philosophical idea. So we are bound also to look into different ways of perceiving time, and maybe see if we can draw something from that as well into the dramaturgy of the play. Maybe we can investigate with the children in the play different ways of perceiving the idea of time.
So you'll be researching, I mean, you, the actors and the playwright, will be looking at like philosophers that have written about time, scientists that have studied or written about time, all of these different sources.
All of these things are very relevant and can feed in really good ideas to the writing process. And then it's about also try to grasp something which is happening right now in Norway. Like today, even in the schools and even in the kindergartens, the time of the children is very decided by grown-ups. And like in the FN's barnekonvensjon,
or the UN Convention for Children, or the UN, the
yes,
rights, children's rights.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the UN Children's Rights Commission. No.
No.
In the UN Children's Rights, they are entitled to have their own privacy. And we can very much debate whether, even in Norway, where children have with all the resources in the world, do they have privacy? Because parents put phones with GPS in their bags. Parents decide that they're going to go to football or tennis 3-4 times a week when they're 7 or 6 years old. In school, they have play groups that they have to play those play groups when they have spare times. And it's all so controlled and so organized, and that has changed during the last 20 years. So we're also trying to discuss this with the children, like what is free time, what is their time, who decides what time it is, who's controlling time. Is it the parents? Is it the teachers? Is it God? Who's deciding what we're going to use this time? Why do we have time? What are we going to use it for? And all these questions, I also will do the show, I think. It's an experience between grown-ups and children, where we together discuss the time, how we share it, what the quality of time is, what type of time do I like, what type of time do I not like, when is time a nice thing, when is time a bad thing. Very early, children learn, I don't have time. I don't have time, Mama. I have to go. We have little time. We have too little time. We have to rush. All these things, these ideas that we impose on them, we are just really curious to find out what do they understand of that? What is their idea about this not having time? So we're reflecting around those things.